Let's scoot over to Madrid, the other Group D matchup where Las Blancas, scary hours in full effect, tried to exact some revenge against his Paris FC side who beat them 2-1 a little over a week ago. What'd you see in this one?
I think I got one and only main thing from this match. And there are a lot of things that happen in this match. Every match is an ecosystem of bounces and luck and skill and different things that happen. But let me just say, we had it, buddy. The Nnadozie game. What a player.
Let's go.
Nnadozie could be an outfield player for Paris FC. She could be an outfield player for a lot of different squads, I think. They get such a confidence from being able to play out from her as the keeper. And like my basic understanding, I don't fancy myself some kind of like master tactician or anything like that. But when you play out from the goalkeeper and you have that much space, your defenders are able to split way far out wide to kind of create maximum space because you have more angles when you're playing from the keeper in a lot of instances. So them being able to do that to really get your fullbacks out there, and then you create these really creative opportunities for runs in the middle of the field to try to then push the pace, play it back outside. You pretty much just open up like different geometry essentially for your entire squad. And to talk about Paris FC like that in a match versus Real Madrid, where you think Real Madrid would be the owners of that kind of real estate, just unbelievably impressive. I will say, not for nothing, Real Madrid, Las Blancas, they obviously have the ability to do that with Misa in goal, who just every match I watch, she's phenomenal. Love the strength and skill that Misa has in every single match. In the first 10 minutes, it felt like Real Madrid won the first 5 minutes. Paris FC came charging back in the second 5 minutes. It was punch, counter punch. At the 22nd minute, 38-year-old Julie Soyer committed a foul in the final third. It was a harsh foul. It deserved a yellow card. And credit to Julie Soyer, who's been playing a long time. She had to make that foul, had to be a yellow card foul, because she was going to get smoked by Athenea on that chance. And Athenea was going to be running in free on goal. Soyer had to do it. Then let's get to, I don't know, she's got to be top 5 favorite players into the channel. 28th minute, Olga takes a shot way outside the box. Super audacious, but why not? It looks like a laser and forces Nnadozie to tap it over the crossbar.
Absolute rocket from Olga, and I think she's doing everything she can. At this point in the match, I'm kind of thinking this team is a little snake bitten.
Yeah.
Not their year, too many almost chances, too many kind of bad breaks, and didn't get any better for them as the match progressed.
It didn't. I mean, I think if you look at the history of football, we have a team based in Madrid and a team based in Paris. There's a mix of some physical play, but there's a mix of some diving out there. You're just going to get that in a game between these two teams. Shout out to, like you said, like Real Madrid, they're having a rough go of it. Zornoza looked great for a lot of the game. Olofsson is a really excellent long-range distributor. Haley Rosso is a menace up the wing, running up and down the field. But Paris FC is just not afraid of anything. They're not afraid of those Real Madrid jerseys. They're out there to play and win. And I thought, going back to the Nnadozie point of her trying to stretch the field, Real Madrid just kept sending Caroline Moller-Hansen at Nnadozie to try to press her to give up the ball. And she was just toying with her, just making Moller just run and run and run and run. And if she's your number 9 and she's getting tired out trying to press, she's just going to be less sharp when she's trying to finish later in the match. I thought that was an excellent strategy by Paris FC. It was chippy. It was physical. We go in there 0-0 at half. And you raised a good point earlier when you were talking about the announcer spoiling results. I thought I might be a dope, like watching the matches and then like taking notes on like what the players are doing and things like that. But I have not been catching any of these announcers' names, and they don't show them. There are no shots of the booth or anything. A lot of them are solo. And so I legitimately got a little excited when they come back into the second half. The announcer gave us his name, Cameron Pope, who has announced several of these broadcasts. I think he's at Cam Pope Sport on Twitter. I think that dude's been crushing for a lot of the match. He sounds like a proper football announcer. Sounds like a guy who could have been on like FIFA 97 calling matches on my Super Nintendo or my PlayStation. So shout out to Cameron Pope, man. You're killing it out there. Really love the analysis. Mixes in stories well. Is like giving background on each player. I just thought he's been doing a great job so far. Back to the match. We're after halftime. Bourdieu up top for Paris FC is trying to make as much happen as possible. But like you said, in a game that's chippy and physical like this, it's hard to get the right opportunity or at least even make good on the opportunity because you're just beat up. You're cold. You can tell everybody's uncomfortable. It was around like 42 degrees Fahrenheit. In the 49th minute, Bourdieu has a chance. She hits it way over the bar. In the 50th minute, they have another beautiful run of play where Matéo to Thiney to Bourdieu, back to Matéo for the shot way over the bar. 50 minutes. Everybody's just clearing the bar. It's hard to get a shot on goal. And then Las Blancas, they make the call. Here comes the cavalry. Toletti in for Olofsson. Caicedo in for Rasso. Feller in for Moeller. All in the 56th minute. And at that moment, I was like, okay, here we go. We haven't seen Caicedo for a while. Is this the cavalry coming in to save the day for Madrid? Where was your head at this point in the match?
Well, I was wondering where Caicedo had been. But yeah, like they just needed something because the vibe, it's not the vibe was off. Like their rhythm was off.
Yep.
You always hear announcers talk about form, like being in good form and bad form. A lot of that's mental because it's the same players with the same skills. I'm not sure if it was a lack of confidence, but they just looked like they needed an injection. You're not sure what kind of message that sends to the squad when you just yank like a third of it and just kind of replace it all in the same transaction. But they went for it. This is basically the kitchen sink that they're throwing in here.
100%. And they had to, like you said, like losing this match was not an option for Real Madrid.
Yep.
So Paris FC, they make a couple changes. Luis Fleury comes in for Julie Soyer. Ribadeira comes in for Bourdieu. Margaux, Mouël comes in for Korošec, defensive midfielder for Paris FC. I thought Korošec, young, I believe she's Slovenian player, 22 years old, put in a really good shift. Pretty much all you could ask for a 22-year-old playing in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Quick moment here. There's a moment where the ball is clearly out. It's barely over the line. And you can hear on the field mics, you can hear Olga go, fuera, 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 which I don't speak Spanish, but I was like, oh yeah, I think that means out.
Bingo.
So I thought that was fun. The announcer, Camp Hope, he mentioned that too. I thought it was a nice touch by him. In the 75th minute, there's an incredible save by Misa. Thiney, she hits a shot that's deflected. Misa has to completely adjust to the direction that she was going to dive. She has a strong left hand. She plays it away. And then disaster strikes. More bad refereeing, in my view. A Rose comes on for Zornoza, and I thought Zornoza played really well in this match too for 75 minutes. A Rose comes on, and then it feels like about 70 seconds later, A Rose is called for a penalty. The offensive player is moving away from the goal, and I always say as a defender, you don't want to commit that penalty. I don't think A Rose committed that penalty, and the ref gives it. It looked like a little bit of a dive, and now we have a penalty kick in the 76th minute, and it feels like it kind of changes the match.
Pretty awful penalty call. I don't know how much it would have changed Real Madrid's ultimate fate, but you do hate to see a call like that. And boy, let me tell you, Las Blancas, muy enojada. They were big mad. And with good reason. Just a shitty call. I mean, still, I'm good with no VAR either way, but like you already have a Madrid team that is full on wobble, right?
Yep.
And now with a call like this, it's now just a full unraveling. And I don't know, we kind of got robbed of the last, what could have been a really, really entertaining last 7 or 8 minutes.
I think you're totally right. And I agree with you also that it might not even have changed the final result. Paris FC, now just spoiler alert, speaking of spoilers, Thiney, she hits a chip for the penalty, completely fools Misa, hits it in the general direction that Misa is diving, but it's like a total change-up in baseball parlance, where Misa has the dive super early. The ball just kind of floats in over her. Again, big mad for Real Madrid. Before the penalty, Misa is like hopping up and down. Maximum shithousery as the ball's being placed at the spot. Misa's standing completely over the spot to try to intimidate Thiney. As soon as that goal is scored, though, it was like, you get the penalty. It's maximum shithousery from Real Madrid. They're trying to do everything they can to throw off the PK taker. And then as soon as Paris FC scores it, now the shithousery meter flips completely to Paris FC because you got 14 minutes to go and you just got to kill time, baby. We're going to lay on the ball. We're going to fall down. We're going to take forever. We're going to kick the ball out of bounds. We're going to do everything they can. And, you know, that's football. That's the way it goes. Sarah Hunter comes on for Thiney. Thiney takes about as long as humanly possible to get off the field. To get about 30 yards, whatever that 40 time would have been, it was looking at about 12 and a half seconds to get off the field.
Quite slow. The disrespectful nature of the Thiney PK, it just cranked it up to 11.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a lot of high fives were exchanged after this one.
For sure. Probably not a lot of exchanging of phone numbers. Nobody's really probably hanging out after this match, if I had to guess. Real Madrid won the possession battle, but I would say, even with Madrid winning the possession battle, the word I just walk away from in this match is meandering. It just felt like they weren't really going anywhere when they were holding the ball, especially in the second half. Paris FC was the aggressor. Again, I thought they had a little bit of Ajax in them, is that I don't even need the ball and I'm still the aggressor. I'm pushing you around on defense. I'm dictating the pace of the game on defense. I thought it was one of those ultimate, you mentioned the phrase, sometimes when you're watching sports and you see a missed opportunity, you just go, needed that. I think the ultimate needed that was a free kick outside of the box. Misa runs up as a decoy. She runs up. They have everybody forward. I love the play where Misa runs up and you can see Paris FC kind of like, okay, we got to deal with this extra player, all this stuff. And then Misa eventually, as soon as Olga takes the free kick, Misa pulls back and goes to retreat toward goal. Olga hits a perfect free kick. And we've talked about this with Real Madrid. There's nobody there. There's nobody at the 6-yard box on the far side of the goal. Where is everybody?
I was so pissed when I saw this. I was just like, come on, man. Like you said, perfectly executed free kick, beautiful bend on the ball, just dying for somebody to kind of get a head on it or do something. There wasn't anybody within 3 yards of the ball.
It's crazy.
And it was from 40 yards out. Like, what the fuck? Like, how does that even happen?
A fair question.
It just makes no sense. It's like, how could nobody have gotten from where they were to where the ball was? And it's like the dying embers of the game. Yep. But I mean, to rewind, I think realistically, Real Madrid was just physically and emotionally spent.
Seems like
and I think if you needed evidence of it, there it was right there. They couldn't summon. There was a moment too that I put in my notes. 87th minute, Real Madrid couldn't even execute a basic throw-in.
Yeah.
Olga throws it in, and the receiving player, I'm blanking on her name, she just kicks it immediately out of bounds. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is just not going to happen.
Yep.
And I'll never get past the idea that Julie Dufour bodying Ivana Andrés a few minutes into the Matchday 3 game, I think just broke them. To see like one of your stalwarts just bodied like that, out-muscled. It's sort of like getting knocked down in the first round. And you're just like, it just rocks you for the rest of the battle. And then, like you said, you've got the reverse fixture. So now once you're in somebody's head, now you're coming back, you're going to their house and you're just like, no, we're still going to beat you.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I've been cluing in on in these matches, the number of yellow cards has been really instructive. Mm-hmm. Paris FC, 4 yellow cards. Real Madrid, none. Yep. So that right there tells you who the aggressor is. And I think it absolutely showed.
Great point, man. I have it in my notes too. Paris FC, 4 yellow cards to Madrid, 0. Paris FC, 12 shots, 4 on target. Madrid, 9 shots, 3 on target. Another fun indicator that you don't want a lot of them, similar to yellow cards. Paris FC, offside 4 times. Madrid, offside twice. So as long as you don't creep up into, oh man, these offside calls are really killing us. They're killing the momentum. But Paris FC was the aggressor in this match.
Yep.
And I thought all of those stats pretty much indicate that. I think you're spot on.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as we look at the Group D standings, Chelsea, top of the group, they're on 8 points. Hacken, second, they're on 7. Paris FC creeping up, they're on 6. Hacken, Chelsea, and Paris FC all have a good shot of winning the group and advancing. So I think the last 2 group stage matches are going to be really, really awesome. Real Madrid, pretty much out of it at this point. They're on 1 point, just not their year.
Yeah, totally right. I mean, Real Madrid, it's a tough go in your domestic league. You have the big bad wolf in there sitting at the top of the table. They recently took a bad loss to Barcelona. You would like to do better in the Champions League, but you know what? Call me crazy. Real Madrid will have more appearances in the Champions League. Men's or women's. I'll plant my flag in that take. I have a feeling this isn't the last we'll see of Las Blancas. Obviously, there are 2 matches left, but it's a building year for them, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and be careful way out on that limb all by yourself.
Right. Yeah, a bold prediction by me.
Props. All right, man. I think we did it. This has been another episode of Into the Channel. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to watch or listen. Ratings and reviews always appreciated at ITC_pod on X, at Into the Channel pod on Threads. Big thank you to my co-host, Mr. Grand Angle, for not being afraid to go out on these limbs with these scorching hot takes.
Oh, that's right, buddy. Much like Real Madrid, you'll see us in the Champions League again, too.
100%. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, see you, man.